Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would crank out one more video today because I may not be doing a video tomorrow. I'm leaving out early in the morning. Got to come back and film the Monday Q&As after the meet, and then I'll have to edit all the video footage from the meet because I'm going to video that. So I thought I would discuss a little myth because it's something that comes back up every now and then, particularly when I read articles and people say, oh, you know, I try to eat and advise my clients and other people to eat X amount of protein all from animal source because it's complete, and then we don't even count the plant source protein towards that number. We just count it towards raw calories or whatever they do with it. Or I get people who say, hey, you know, should I even count my plant source calories? Can they build muscle? Aren't they incomplete proteins? And guys, this is one of the more annoying, pervasive myths in both the training world and the nutrition world, is that plant proteins are incomplete. Off the top of my head, without going and digging, I can only think of immediately one incomplete protein that humans regularly eat as food. And that is gelatin, which comes from animals. That's an animal source protein. It's incomplete. But plant source proteins are complete. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to link down below, because there's misunderstandings on this, a website I've been using for many years called Nutrition Self-Help Data. I'll link you broccoli. And if you look through any food in the world you want to look up, it gives you full nutrition profiles, everything from the glycemic index, the glycemic load, how much B12 is in it, how inflammatory versus anti-inflammatory it is, the full amino acid profile. It gives it a score. Now, if you got to remember, if a score goes over 100, it becomes irrelevant because it's actually a better score than the body can even utilize. That's why we set 100 as what's generally an optimal protein source. But I'm going to use that term a little loosely because it almost doesn't fit here. It just means that that's the level to where your body isn't really, there's no real benefit to it being higher quality beyond that in terms of the essential amino acid content. And it will show you on the chart how much of each individual amino acid is on it in a little round chart, and anything that isn't at the ideal amount for the human metabolism and the way the humans process amino acids from protein, it will be checked at a lower box, and you'll see how far below it is, and it gives you a score. And you realize you can combine different things together. When you look through those, yeah, obviously things like certain dairy proteins are at the top. Fish proteins tend to be really high, higher than chicken, beef, other things. But what you find is that there's an awful lot of plant source that is just as high, if not higher, than, say, steak, for example. So it doesn't work that way. They're not incomplete. It's just some proteins out there don't have the ideal ratios per gram of protein for a given amino acid, but nobody out there eats only one source of protein. Every food you have in it has protein. These things get mixed together, combined, so you don't need to look at it as a plant source versus animal source in regards to what you're getting. You got to remember, the only reason we even score this is because a lot of people may not be eating enough protein for optimal health. They may not be eating enough protein for building muscle or repairing for athletes and everything. And if you're really low on protein, it becomes important that you use these scales to make sure you're getting enough of the essential amino acids. But once you reach a certain threshold, people are eating 100, 150 grams of protein, 200 grams of protein. You could eat it all from wheat, which is fairly low compared to a lot of other plants, and you'd be fine because the quantity of those individual amino acids that are a little low per gram of protein, the sheer quantity of the protein is so high that it won't matter anymore. So this is really a myth, guys, and I'm not trying to push anybody towards veganism or vegetarianism by saying this, even though that's the direction I go. I'm just saying that this is misunderstood. It's been misconstrued because, if all honesty, if a person wanted to only eat 50 grams of protein a day, I might actually say, well, you probably do need to use egg whites or some other ultra high quality dairy source as your only protein source if you want to eat only 50 grams a day and still gain muscle. So I'm not even pushing that. I'm just saying that it's an issue of quantity of these individual amino acids, and this whole incomplete protein that beans and rice are individually incomplete proteins. No, they're just not at that score of 100, that perfect score or higher. But when you combine the two together, they complement each other, and it raises the overall value of the mixture because they complement what the other's missing. But they're both complete proteins already. It's just that, like, rice has one or two proteins that it has about 20 to 30% less than what you might want of a couple of the amino acids that are essential. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.